And welcome back to another episode of Minnesports. I am here, Sam Macy, along with Nolan here. Unfortunately, Blaine Weber cannot be here today for really reasons unknown. We've been trying to contact him. We'll see if he turns up next week. Anyways, what we're going to go over this podcast, a wild preview for tonight's game. It is a must-win game. We also had a few injuries that come out lately, and can Devin Dudnett just keep it up and hopefully maintain the net for the Wild? Also, a Wolves review from Sunday's game against Houston. It was only a 3-point game. It was closer than everyone thought. We just got to see if Karl-Anthony Towns can finally step up and play his position, or is this just going to be a 4-0 sweep for Houston? We're going to go cover the G League a little bit. We also have our own NFL mock draft. We're going to do the top 10 picks, and we're going to see who the Vikings should select in the number 30 position, and also a higher lower at the end. All right, so let's start off the show with the Wild versus Winnipeg Jets Game 4 game tonight. This is a must-win game, is it not?
Yeah, it's definitely a must-win game. You know, you start out the series down 2-0 when really Game 1 is they got outshot, they got outplayed when it comes down to it, but they definitely missed an opportunity there, and they should have won that first game. You know, you get a chance like that on the road, you gotta try to sneak away with it, but you go down 2-0 in the series, come back home, win a big game 6-2. I mean, the Wild need to win this now. Now they got Zach Parise out, and
that is it just came out today. It is a 6 to 8 week sternum injury. So in a sense, this could be the whole playoffs if the Wild were to keep going. I don't think he'd come back.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. I mean, it was really weird. So first, I heard from Bleacher Report, and it said Parise's got a sternum fracture out tonight, and then it said it was week to week, and I was like, sternum fracture, that sounds a little worse than week to week. And then I saw Russo tweet out that it was a 6 to 8 week thing, and that seemed more right. But yeah, I mean, he's done. It looks like, sounds like. I don't know. Do you know how he even got that injury? Was it in practice?
They said it was during one of the last shifts. He got sandwiched in trying to, I believe, clear the puck away. That's what I've been told.
In the last game?
Yes.
I didn't even notice him.
Exactly. No one noticed it. Came out of nowhere. And the worst part is Zach Parise has scored at least once in all 3 of our games so far.
Yeah, he's been huge. Yeah, this is like close to the end. These last 20 or so games, he's been a really big factor. And that's going to be really disappointing, especially when you're already losing one of your veterans in Ryan Suter, who's been consistently the best defenseman on the team. But one thing I think the Wild can take advantage of is Winnipeg's, starting goalie, Hellebuck. I think that's how you say his name, but he's just been unimpressive. The Wild have not been getting very many scoring opportunities at all, and I mean, they scored 2 goals in the first game when they didn't get many shots on at all. They only scored 1 in the second game, but they got outshot 43-19. And then, 6 goals in that last game. So I think they can exploit it. If they can get any good opportunities at the net, there's a good chance they can score it, Right. Where Dubnyk has been playing really well. And if Dubnyk can catch fire, maybe get a shutout tonight, which it would be great. But he's been really good this whole series. I mean, there's been a couple bad goals here and there, but for the most part, 40. They got 43 shots on. They scored 4 goals, 39 saves. I mean, that's still a really good percentage. So Dubnyk's been really solid this series.
I think this is literally the must-win game here. If we lose, we're gonna go down 3-1. Then we have to go travel up to Winnipeg for at least, if we somehow come back, at least 2 more games. I mean, we have come back from 3-1 series before. In 2003, 2004, we won 2 series down 3-1. I mean, it's possible, but against this high-powered offense, Winnipeg Jets, I just don't see it happening where we could come back.
I don't see it happening either because the Wild, they just first and second round losses has been kind of the MO the last 6 years. They've made the playoffs here. They make the playoffs every year, which is nice, but they never make that step forward that we keep hoping they will. And they were hoping, Boudreau would come in. And then that series against St. Louis last year, that was a bizarre series because we outplayed them every game. And we lost in 5. I mean, it was just the Allen for St. Louis, the goaltender. He was just caught fire.
Jake Allen.
Yeah, he caught fire, and he stole that series from the Wild. And that was really the year where they were healthy going into the playoffs. They really looked like they were going to take a step forward, and disappointment again.
That's just
and
how it's been with the Wild. When we signed Parise Suter, we were thinking, oh, dynasty coming up here soon. And it just hasn't happened yet. Like, where?
Perennial playoff team, but
Western Conference Finals appearances, 0.
Yeah.
That is an unacceptable number.
And the thing is, I mean, Winnipeg's one of the better teams in the Western Conference. If they can win tonight, somehow make it out of the series even without Parise and Suter, I mean, they would still have to play Nashville, but that would be a huge series win. That would kind of feel like a step forward for the Wild, because that would be big win, relying a lot more on some of your younger guys with Suter. I mean, Soucy's going to be playing a lot, and yeah, so UMD. Blaine's not here to say anything about that, but yeah, we got young UMD defensemen playing for us now, so. It would be a really good step forward for some of these Zucker and Granlund, and if they can, step up and, maybe carry this team a series or two, that would be pretty nice, and that would feel like a step in the right direction for the Wild.
Yeah, that is definitely what we're gonna see tonight, I guess. What's gonna happen? Next, we're gonna do a Wolves review, transition into a preview against the series versus the Houston Rockets. We did lose game 1. Was it 108, 111?
It was 104, 101.
104, oh goodness. I stopped watching. 104, 101. It was only a 3-point game. No one's giving Minnesota any credit for even this game, which shocks me. But I can see a point where this was a game the Wolves should have taken away. But Karl-Anthony Towns decided to just go sit out in the perimeter all game and only get 8 points, which baffled me, because this has been one of the worst shooting nights for Houston all year. This is a game we should have stolen and taken control of the series, but now it seems like we're chasing, and this is almost starting to look like a 4-0 sweep.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people were predicting that to begin with, and then now are like, well, the Wolves gave them their best shot they could, in that first. Yep. I guess, I don't know. There was a couple things with the Wolves that stood out to me. Yeah, first of all, Towns was non-existent on defense or offense. And it was just uncharacteristic. He's had some bad defensive nights most of the year. I mean, he just hasn't been a good defender. But he hasn't been so non-existent on offense at all this year. And the first half, Capella got everything he wanted. He had 20 points and 10 rebounds in the first half.
He did.
I mean, that's ridiculous. You can't. Towns is a superior player to Capella. He needs to play like it. He needs to play better. And Towns had 8 points for the game versus Capella's 24. That's not a way the Wolves are going to win if that keeps up. And it kind of feels like the game 1 for the Wild, where you had a chance to sneak away with one on the road, and that would have been really nice.
Oh, we certainly did. Yeah.
So, who knows what this game 2 will look like? But a couple things that the Wolves did do well is their defense looked better than it has all year long.
I can agree with that. Yes.
They were closing out on shooters.
That could be a little bit the reason why their shooting percentage is so down. We contested every single shot. Sure, we fouled 2 or 3, but we could have prevented easily 3 to 5 to 7 made threes.
Yeah, I see. That's one thing I was impressed with the Wolves' defense. They haven't closed out on anybody like that all year long. Their defense was, 104 points for Houston is not bad. I mean, Houston's a team that can score 120 points easily any given night.
We've seen it. Yes.
Yeah, and to hold them to under 105 points, if you can do that for the rest of the series, that's probably a good, pretty good method to win. I mean, if you can keep them around that 104, 105 mark, I mean, the Wolves can put up some points even though they're a bad 3-point shooting team. And another thing that I liked about the Wolves game too is Wiggins and Derrick Rose. Wiggins, there's been a lot of complaining about Wiggins from Wolves fans.
It's every time he has a bad game. It's always he's the first person everyone blames.
Yeah,
it's nothing new.
And it's always like he's never that into the game. He's not intense enough.
Whenever he has a good game, they're all like, we finally expected it.
That's like what we're hoping.
Getting his money's worth.
But Wiggins, nobody could stop Harden. It was when they put Wiggins on him, when they put Butler on him, when they put Rose on, nobody could stop him. But Wiggins was putting effort on the defensive end, and honestly, they couldn't really do much. Harden was making a lot of contested threes. He's just unstoppable, and that's what it came down to.
That's why he's going to be the MVP of the NBA.
And yeah, exactly. He will be, yeah.
Simple.
And Wiggins was playing with intensity. He was attacking the basket. He had 18 points. Or if you can get 18 points out of Wiggins every night, Wolves fans would be a little happier. There's still going to be those few who be like, he should be better. But I was impressed with Wiggins. I thought he played really intense, was attacking the basket. Yep. Rose is almost looking like old Derrick Rose. I mean, he's not quite that. He's not quite that explosive, but he was moving up and down the court. He was playing defense. I can see why.
He was creating plays, and he was making so easy baskets. Just these little 10, 12-foot jumpers, always going. It's just make the easy plays, and you'll get points.
Yeah, and he was making all the easy plays. So I was really impressed with him coming off the bench. Towns was the issue. I mean, that's when it comes down to. Towns needs to score more than 8 points. He needs to play some kind of defense on Clint Capella, or Gibson just needs to guard him, because you can't have that same kind of thing happening again. And let's talk about this one. Jimmy Butler's last shot. There's been a lot of criticism about it. I was kind of wondering what you thought about that.
I have nothing to say.
You have nothing to say?
That's kind of... No, I have nothing to say.
On Jimmy Butler's last shot?
Some people say it's a good shot. Some people say it's a bad shot. It happened. We didn't win. Nothing new.
Well, I think a lot of the criticism was, first of all, it was a fadeaway contested three. It was actually a 2, apparently. I guess his foot was on the line when he shot that. But, yeah, so with that, too, so it was a fadeaway 2. So I guess even if he made it, they would have lost. But Teague was open with a 3-point shot that he could have passed the ball to. Now, there's been a lot of criticism on Jimmy Butler, but to me, I don't know, I was not that bothered by it. First of all, when it comes to those end-of-game situations, you want your big-time players making big-time plays. Jimmy Butler tried to make a play. The one thing I didn't like about it is he shot that too early. He could have taken time, dribbled, maybe got a step-back 3, and had a little bit better of a look than taking a fadeaway, contested 3. So he had more time to dribble. I don't know if he needs to pass it off to somebody, but he could have gotten a better shot, and that's my only criticism of it. But Jimmy Butler is, I'm not going to question him. He's turned this team around.
He's the reason why we're in the playoffs despite being hurt.
He is. I mean, if he didn't come back for those last 3 games of the year, this team doesn't make the playoffs, and it's simple as that. Yeah. So I'm not going to – I can't criticize him because, I mean, he's transformed this team into something we haven't seen in 14 years. And, one bad shot here and there, I guess we'll have to live with that. And it's bad shot in the playoffs is better than no playoffs. So
agreed. The first time in 14 years and people still find a way to complain.
Exactly. I mean, this is just – it's good to have something else here. Some postseason Wolves to watch. It's really nice. It's really nice.
All right, up next we are going to talk about the G League. Yes, so today the G League has just increased their annual salaries by 35%. Healthcare and housing is paid for, and a travel stipend for when you're traveling, that's all paid for too. So, is this the G League calling out the NCAA and basically attempting to entice high schoolers to pick the G League rather than go to college?
It could be. I don't know. I kind of like that. I like the idea of having another option for players. Like, they've always had the overseas option, but that's, it's harder to get. It's just not the same kind of competition where the G League would be really good competition, get them ready for it. So, yeah, it might be a really good idea to have that other option for players who have just no interest in college, and there's a lot of them, So I think that's probably what they're trying to do. Get some players who really aren't interested in college to go to play in the G League.
There's been many people who are just don't go to classes or fail out of college, and it makes them ineligible for sometimes playing even a lot of awards they get ineligible for, and they're just saying they don't care. They just want to basically just get through. We've seen people go overseas and attempt that and then go to the NBA. Should work for a little bit. So, and with all these FBI scandals lately, you're thinking, are these players really getting paid? Like, there is a handful of people who are getting paid. They have been proved out by the FBI. So why not just go to the G League for a year, get some money? If you don't want to go to college so much, then so what? I think the NCAA, in a sense, should just be a 2-year commitment instead of a 1. Because at least you're getting some sort of college with 2. With 1, you're barely getting anything. Not enough for a degree or anything.
Yeah.
If you go 2, you can get your associates, and that can get you something at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the NFL has a rule where they have to play 3 years of college. I don't know why the NBA can't just say either you do no college or you stay 2 years. I mean, that would be a much better system. I think it would make the players happier. I think it would make the colleges happier. They could build a program a little more, players who don't want to go to college wouldn't have to. The one thing with the G League is they got, what would you say, it was 35,000?
Yes, 35% increase, and that's about what people are getting. 25 to 35, I believe, is what they're getting for the 5 months. Yes.
Yeah, but see, I mean, the top recruits who have been getting paid by, Adidas and that. I mean, what did DeAndre Ayton get, like 100,000?
So that's what they're alleging. Nothing has been proven.
Nothing has been proven, but I mean, I think who was the Miles Bridges? I think was another one who got something like 100,000.
Mother got money. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, is that going to be enough to entice them away from if they can get those big payouts by Adidas or Nike or whoever? I think it was just Adidas, though, wasn't it? It was Adidas colleges.
The main focus. Of the story so far. We don't know. There could be more.
There could be more. So I mean, we don't know, but yeah, that seems like I mean, maybe it could work. Maybe it could entice some players away from that, and maybe it could fix some of those problems that the NCAA is having right now. I think it's a good idea overall, though. I mean, some of these G League players, I mean, what was it? It was a really cool story just seeing that guy from who played for the Lakers and had like 19 points.
Cool. Yeah.
That was a super cool story. He's like a math tutor by day, plays in the G League. I mean, that's just 32 years old and finally gets his dream of playing an NBA player come true. I mean, that was just a really awesome story. So it's pretty cool to see what's kind of happening with the G League, and it's expanding, and it'll be interesting to see how that transforms it in the next couple of years.
It will be very interesting. But now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our 10-pick mock draft. We don't do full 32 because really there's so many people and players. We just don't know how it's gonna go. So here's how it's gonna go. We're gonna both say our first pick, what team, what player, obviously. Now we're gonna discuss. We're going to basically go head-to-head and say why this team will pick said player. All right.
Are we going 10-1?
You want to go? I'm thinking 1 to 10.
It's up to you. Go however you want to do it.
I'm thinking 1 to 10.
All right.
I think I'm going 1 to 10. So all right, first off, let's just say it. Who's going to be the team in the number 1 position for you?
Who's going to be the team?
Yep. Who's picking number 1 overall?
I did not do any trades, so I got Cleveland. Okay. I don't think they'll trade the number 1 pick.
I've done a mock trade in here later now, but I do think this is the Browns. And hold on. With the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Browns will select Josh Allen, quarterback, Wyoming.
That's pretty bold.
Who did you have?
I got Sam Darnold.
You have Sam Darnold. Okay, why Sam Darnold over Josh Allen?
I think Cleveland is at the point where they don't want to screw this up again. Yeah. Sam Darnold is kind of universally considered he's not too high of a bust factor.
No.
He may not have the highest ceiling ever, but he's not really considered. Nobody's thinking he's going to be a bust. He's a big guy. No. He loves football. Football is his passion, and he's a perfect kind of quarterback for they play 11 games a year outdoors. So that's kind of a good situation to have a big, strong quarterback like a Darnold. It's kind of.
I think Josh Allen has the most talent out of these quarterbacks, and I think if you want to make an instant impact for Cleveland, go with him right there. Obviously, Sam Darnold, yes, he is a little bit more proven quarterback. However, we've seen quarterbacks who have played in less competition like Carson Wentz, and look how almost MVP before he got hurt. I'm thinking Josh Allen.
That's kind of an interesting pick. I mean, teams have been kind of enamored with his arm strength, so maybe Cleveland will bite on that. But that 54% completion percentage in college, that's kind of a scary.
That is true.
Scary, he's got a good higher bust chance on that.
He does, but I think this is a player Cleveland will not pass. All right. After this play, you can go for your second pick.
Number 2 overall to the New York Giants, Josh Rosen.
This is where it's going to get a little heated here because I think the Giants will pick the best player available, and the Giants will select Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn State.
That's the two. I feel like, as long as Cleveland does take Darnold at top, I think it's going to be between Rosen and Barkley for them. And I think when it comes down to it, they're going to think, well, we got Eli Manning here. He's a good mentor.
That was my thought when I went to selection. Eli Manning still has a few good years left. Why not get the best player left, which is going to be Saquon Barkley? So take him.
Yeah, I mean, Eli Manning does have a couple years left, but I think they'll use that to. He'll be a mentor. I think he can be a mentor for Josh Rosen, Josh Rosen's got his own little shares of controversy, too. So I think Eli Manning's a class act. I mean, he's just been, great face of the organization for the New York Giants. I think. And when it comes down to it, he knows how to play in the NFL. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings, so I think he'll be a good mentor for Josh Rosen. I wouldn't be surprised if they went Saquon Barkley just because he's 37. I mean, Brady still had a really good year at 40.
Like,
so
this has got to be one of the most unpredictable drafts ever.
It
right?
really is.
This was hard. This was actually hard filling this out.
Yeah,
Usually in drafts, you can get at least the first 5, and you're going to get 3 out of the 5 automatically.
This year, you just don't know.
No,
I mean, there's so many top quarterbacks who teams will be looking at, and they might just take anyway just because we need a quarterback. We don't know if he's going to be pan out or not, but we need somebody.
What if Cleveland decides to go Saquon Barkley, number 1 pick overall, just to
and they might.
Exactly.
I think they like him too. So, who do you got going number 3 here?
Who do I have going number 3? Well, we're just gonna have to. All right. The pick is now in. Confirmed. The 3rd pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the New York Jets will select Sam Darnold from USC.
I got Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. All right. Why Baker Mayfield?
I think.
And not Josh Allen.
See, I don't know. I think teams are gonna look at Josh Allen as he's boom or bust, and I think the Jets probably don't want that. Although they might. That's actually not a bad idea with the Josh Allen because the Jets, now that they got Teddy Bridgewater and they got who else coming back there? That old McCown. Yeah, they got Teddy Bridgewater and McCown, so they might be able to take a boom or bust kind of guy. I mean, because he's got 2 quarterbacks ahead of him. I picked Baker Mayfield.
Boom or bust.
I don't think Baker Mayfield has a lot of bust in him. To me, Baker Mayfield's the best quarterback in this draft by far. So I think the Jets are going to say he doesn't have that much of a downside. Okay. He's a talented kid.
People
he is small, but so is Drew Brees.
That is true. People love bringing up his height, but you can still make an impact. I think he's more of a boomer bust than Josh Allen personally.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. So maybe the Jets kind of think of it differently. But I think Baker Mayfield. I don't think he's got really much of a chance at all to bust. I think it's gonna be like Deshaun Watson kind of a thing from last year. If he falls in the draft, they took Trubisky because Trubisky looks like he's gonna be a good quarterback. Where Deshaun Watson is actually a good quarterback. I think that's similar to like the rest of these guys in Baker Mayfield. Right. I think there's something different about him. I think he's gonna be a star.
All right, Nolan, please go ahead.
Cleveland with the number 4 overall pick will take Saquon Barkley.
All right, so Saquon Barkley's already got off my board, and the Browns will select the best available player, so they're gonna have to go Bradley Chubb, right? Defensive end, NC State. Like Saquon Barkley is a perfect fit for the Browns. I think he is, but in my opinion, Giants are gonna take him early, so Browns are gonna think about trading down this spot. But I think Bradley Chubb is just too big of a talent to just not turn down. You're gonna pick Bradley Chubb with that pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably if I didn't have Saquon Barkley on the board too, that would probably be my idea for it. So yeah, that's a pretty smart pick.
Nothing really to discuss there.
Yeah,
I could agree with Barkley going there, but I mean, Cleveland's gonna take the best player overall.
Yeah.
All right. So, please present. Oh, it's my turn with the 5th pick, isn't it? This is the Denver Broncos selection, I believe, but I believe the Buffalo Bills will trade into here.
Okay.
And the Buffalo Bills will select Josh Rosen from UCLA.
That's interesting. See, I did no trades in this, so
That's fair. I'm thinking there's gonna be another trade in here, but I just didn't put it to make it super confusing. I think Miami has the potential to trade in here just to go after maybe Baker Mayfield up there. Those 4 quarterbacks are going right away, in my opinion. So I think someone else is going to want to get up there.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the Broncos have. I mean, they got Kasky in them. I don't see they have another reason to go after another quarterback. So I think they're going to do the smart move here and trade down, gather more picks for really tighten up other positions because they just did not look good this year.
Yeah, I can kind of see that because Buffalo. I mean, they got no Tyrod Taylor right now. So who do they have? Did they sign somebody?
Oof.
They signed McCarron.
Yeah, they got Nathan Peterman too.
Yeah, so I mean they got nothing. But yeah, so that's not a bad idea for trade. I didn't trade Denver, just getting rid of Aqib Talib. I have them taking one of like the higher, fast rising secondary players, in Derwin James.
Derwin James, okay, yes, he is. He's on my top 10. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That is I believe that would be a very good selection if the Broncos were to stay in that position. It is tough because people are saying they should go quarterback because Simeon's gone.
Yeah.
So they're thinking they need a quarterback in there, but I mean, I don't see what's wrong with getting the best safety in the draft.
Yeah. So I think that would be, and I mean, losing Aqib Talib. I don't know if Aqib Talib wasn't a safety, but trying to bolster that secondary any way you can.
I can understand. All right, number 6 pick, please.
With the number 6 overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts will select Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb. All right, so Bradley Chubb's off my board. So for here, I went Quentin Nelson, guard, Notre Dame. Just best available player.
Yeah, see, I can see him going either way. They need something to protect Andrew Luck because they got, I mean, I don't understand how you draft a talent like Andrew Luck. You pay him.
Who's literally been the perfect pick. It's
exactly.
He's
I mean,
up there.
If you could get an Andrew Luck with the number 1 overall pick, there's not one team that would ever, not do that. I mean, Andrew Luck was so unbelievably good. I mean, he still is if he can ever get back on the field, but they need to put something in front of him. So I can see where, Quentin Nelson would be great for him. I have him taking Bradley Chubb because when it comes down to it, the Colts just have a bad roster, and they got nobody on defense either.
Yep.
So, I mean, a really good pass rusher. I mean, they could use anything they can get on defense. So I think, and Bradley Chubb is one of the best overall players in this draft.
Player left.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. The number 7 pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will go Derwin James, safety, Florida State.
Since I had Derwin James off the board, I had him taking Denzel Ward from Ohio State. So
Denzel Ward. Okay.
So yeah, another secondary. We both have them taking secondary players. I mean, they have to go against Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and Cam Newton. They can use some secondary help.
Yep. I think their offense is just fine. They just need more help in the back. Right, that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? So there's really no further discussion. All right, number 8 pick, please.
With the number 8 overall pick, the Chicago Bears select Quentin Nelson.
Okay,
guard.
That's very Quentin Nelson. That's where I have. I'm gonna go with Denzel Ward, quarterback, Ohio State.
Okay.
The Bears, to be honest, the Bears need anything.
Yeah, they need a lot.
It doesn't matter what they need. They just need the best available player. And you had Quentin Nelson still, which he will be the best available on your board. But for me, this is a Denzel Ward pick. hit the button. Just come on, give me the player now.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like they said, you need everything. You got a good running back. You got a second-year quarterback. You could use some offensive line help. They could use anything. I mean, their defense played hard, but they don't have any exceptional talent. Yep. So yeah, the Bears can use just about anything.
So just to recap here, we basically have all the same players picked, except you have Baker Mayfield and I have Josh Allen.
Yeah, so
and I believe Baker Mayfield might get picked in the top 10 if someone was to trade up there. All right, number 9 pick belongs to San Francisco. And the San Francisco 49ers with the 9th pick will select Roquan Smith, outside linebacker, Georgia.
Okay. I have them taking Mike McGlinchey, offensive tackle.
Mike McGlinchey. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, San Francisco, they can still use a couple things. I think they'll probably. I think an offensive lineman to protect Garoppolo at this point. I mean, okay. Yeah, they could probably use some more defensive help too. Linebacker. I guess I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. So yeah, Mike McGlinchey. That's just why I have Mike McGlinchey. But
I don't know if I see the 49ers going that low. I don't think McGlinchey is a top 10 talent, and I think the 49ers really need to fill in their linebackers with all these injuries and retirements that have popped up.
And arrests, right?
Yep. Oh my gosh, we're not gonna. That'll be for another day. But yeah, they're just losing defense left and right, just out of the blue. So they need a fresh face in there who can give them tech. All right. So for our final number 10 selection overall.
With the number 10 overall pick, Oakland selects Roquan Smith, outside linebacker.
Wow. We almost had the same board. I went here Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech. And should be obvious why we both picked. They need a linebacker to pair with Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Is it obvious enough?
Yep. That makes sense. All right.
So yeah, that was pretty easy. So now we're gonna go all the way down to 30. And for this, I think I have a lot of players listed here who I think the Vikings should pick, but I think this player will follow us. It will be Connor Williams out of Texas. He's a guard.
Yeah. I got him somewhere. Somewhere.
Who's your number one? Who do you think the Vikings will get in that position?
There's a couple. I keep trying to. I'm gonna go bold with it though.
Okay.
Orlando Brown.
I have him on my list too, so I have him third. So I wouldn't really call that bold, but he will fall in the draft after that horrendous 40.
That's the thing. I'm kind of hesitant about it because
I think everyone's hesitant now.
That's not a Mike Zimmer like pick. Zimmer doesn't like lazy players.
Nope.
So I almost just want to say like they'll go Billy Price or Colton Miller instead. Or Connor Williams, something like. I think Connor Williams will go higher though. But
I've seen him falling lately, which is shocking. Because I saw him as a 10 pick like 2 months ago. I'm thinking, all right, so he's out of our reach. But I've seen him just slowly falling for no reason. And I've even seen a few mock drafts who put him on our squad, which makes me go, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe he will fall far enough. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Orlando Brown out of the first round entirely, but I think that's kind of Spielman. With Sharif Floyd, you think about some of these picks he's had. I mean,
he was good for those 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, Orlando Brown. It's just hard to overlook that he didn't give up a sack. I mean, I don't know how. What was up with that combine? Maybe he just had a bad day. Maybe it was up too late the night before or something. But I don't understand how
he protected Mayfield very well that year too.
Yeah,
let's give him credit. One of the reasons Mayfield has the Heisman is due to Orlando Brown.
And he didn't give up a sack, and somehow he can. What did you 15 reps on bench as an offensive lineman?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a terrible combine, but Spielman, but then Colton Miller was the other one I had on my list, and then Connor Williams too. So, couple tackles and Billy Price. So a couple tackles in the guard.
A few other besides players, I have Isaiah Wynn, a guard out of Georgia, who could.
I have him up higher.
Falls to us.
I have him actually being taken 18 by Seattle.
18. Okay, you actually did a full draft. Mike McGlinchey, he might fall. You never know.
Yeah, I got him up.
Also, I saw this on a mock draft, and I thought, this could just be possible. When you think Mike Zimmer isn't going to draft a cornerback, he's going to draft a cornerback. It's going to be Isaiah Oliver out of Colorado.
Isaiah Oliver. Oh, yep, I have him on my top 20 actually. But
see, this could happen if he falls far enough.
Yeah, Zimmer likes drafting corners for sure.
We know it. It's always unexpected too. Just go.
Yeah,
boom.
And I mean he knows how to draft corners too.
Right.
I mean, as much as you are anti Trey Waynes, Trey Waynes has been a big time player for this team.
If we don't re-sign him, here's our pick right
here.
here.
Yeah, if you can't re-sign him, you never know.
I simply think there needs to be an offensive lineman pick. We need insurance for our big quarterback.
That's the thing. You sign the court. We can't pull the Andrew Luck. Oh, let's sign him to a big money contract and then give him nobody in front of him, so we can't have any success. We need to. I mean, especially with this team right now, we have a left tackle. We got Remmers. We got Remmers, Reef. We'll have why am I drawing a blank? Center. Elfline coming back. We just signed Nick Easton again. So I mean, the only thing is we retired Joe Berger. I mean, we need one
Searles
offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I mean, Searles can play. He's a nice fill, and I don't really want him starting when it comes down to it. So, if we can get some kind of starting caliber offensive tackle, that would be perfect for this team right now. But yeah, you never know what they're gonna do. I'm curious, where do you got Lamar Jackson going?
Lamar Jackson. So, it depends on who wants to trade up and who doesn't. I could see Arizona as a potential candidate. Buffalo, if the Bills don't want to trade, he will be there for them if they don't want to trade. If Denver somehow trades down, he's there for them as well. So I think those are the 3 teams that are but people said, what if he just keeps falling and falling? I could see the Saints getting him.
Yeah.
I think Mason Rudolph the Saints will most likely draft a quarterback, I think. That's either going to be Mason Rudolph or Teddy Bridgewater, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. So I did kind of like a first, mock draft. I changed it a little bit for my top 10 here, but where I had him going was 29 to Jacksonville.
Why? I'm curious.
I was looking at this and
Did you see this before the Blake Bortles extension? Is my question.
I did not. And they say they're happy with Bortles, but they're not paying him. It's not like they're paying him Kirk Cousins money where it's like you don't dare start somebody else.
Correct.
If you draft, remember when Seattle brought in the backup quarterback from Green Bay, and then they drafted Russell Wilson.
Yep. Matt Flynn. Right?
Yeah, Matt Flynn.
Yep.
Matt Flynn was going in there to be the starter, and Russell Wilson fell, and they got him late round in the draft, and he just became a starter.
Oddly enough, they're both from Wisconsin.
Yeah. How about that? And I could just kind of see something like that happening in Jacksonville. Think, maybe we could use something else besides Blake Bortles. They got such a talented team. Blake Bortles is just such a, average to below average quarterback. Yeah. They might want something a little better. And if Lamar Jackson can, kind of do some of the things he could do in college.
You gotta look for a throwing quarterback. You don't want Lamar Jackson eating away yards from Leonard Fournette, who's already getting all those yards.
That's true, but what was it? I was reading something. It was like a Pro Football Focus thing. And Lamar Jackson, I think it was something like 65% of his yards were not designed run plays. So he's scrambling. So that you can look at that either way you want. You can look at that he's too quick to run, which
selfish.
I don't think he is. Or you could look at it like he doesn't really do that many design run plays. He can make something out of nothing when he's about to get sacked, scramble around. So I think maybe Jacksonville is interested in picking up a quarterback.
That's always a potential. I think it's going to be a very interesting draft this year. Probably the most unpredictable in years, and the most quarterbacks drafted in the first round in years as well.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be. I think Darnold, Rosen, Mayfield, Allen, and Lamar Jackson, they'll all likely be first round picks, and then there's a couple of guys who are going to go second or third round too. Okay, I got one more question for you here.
All right, I got another bold prediction when we're done.
You got another bold prediction? All right, but Green Bay, who do you have them taking?
God knows who Green Bay is going to take. I'm thinking defense.
Think so?
I'm thinking so. I haven't looked into the draft situation much.
But I think they pick 14.
14? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe secondary linebacker. That'd be nice for them.
Yeah.
Because they just got Muhammad Wilkerson, so their D-line's, I think it's fine now.
They got that Mike Daniels too. He's solid.
I'm thinking either that. What's their running backs? They got Adams as a running back, right?
They got what's his name? 88. Ty Montgomery. And they got
he went. Yeah.
They got a couple other young running backs. Can't remember what their names are, but they did okay. It's kind of like a typical Green Bay running back. Nothing special, but they can hold their own.
They have so many places where they could go. I'm thinking defense though, but who knows? I don't know what their situation is.
I did do before Dez Bryant became a free agent.
That is a good one because people are saying Green Bay's in the contention all of a sudden for Dez Bryant. I could never see him wearing that ugly yellow and green, but you never know.
You never know. If he wants to play with Aaron Rodgers, that'll be an option.
No,
I don't want to see it. Because if there's somebody who's going to revive Dez Bryant's career, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. But so I had him doing that before, and I had him taking Calvin Ridley out of Alabama.
Okay, yeah, that is a good player out of
because Georgia. Green Bay just doesn't really have interest in drafting defensive players, it seems like. They just want to throw,
You can go Calvin Ridley. You can go Cortland Sutton. But Cortland Sutton is supposed to be the number one receiver picked, they're all saying.
Really? See, the only receiver I've seen going first round has been Calvin Ridley.
Oh, look into Cortland Sutton's from SMU. He had a very, very good year. He looks pretty good.
But yeah, okay. So there's a couple of top receivers, but what I've heard is that this is like one of the worst wide receiver drafts in years.
You can tell because there's only going to be 1 to 2 in the first round.
Yeah,
they're all going to go 3rd or 4th, 5th.
Yeah, and that's one thing too where I like the Vikings Kendall Wright signing even more because I was always a big Kendall Wright fan actually, and now that you add some depth, so now you got Diggs, Thielen, Kendall Wright, and you still have Laquan Treadwell if he'll ever pan out. I really like that.
I don't think he'll be on the team next year.
You don't think so? You think they'll cut him all together?
Good chance.
Well, I mean, you never know. I guess you never know what's gonna happen with that. So.
Zimmer's obviously frustrated with him.
Yeah.
He's expressed it too. So it's not like he's not got enough time up there. He's just doing something wrong.
I don't understand how you can get to an NFL level as a wide receiver and you still can't run routes.
That's bizarre. That's so bizarre.
I mean, and he's huge. He can catch the ball. If he could just run routes, he could be like a Des Bryant, when you think about it. He's got that kind of physical abilities. And he just isn't there. I don't understand it.
Yep.
But you said you had another bold prediction here.
Yes, I do. Mason Rudolph will get drafted before Lamar Jackson. People are going to want for a
Really?
more throwing quarterback, and that is your guy right there. He's going to go under the radar. He'll get picked before him. I know he will too.
That's it. That's pretty.
His team is going to swoop him up.
Yeah, I can see that.
10 to 20, he'll get picked. I'm going to go.
Yeah, because teams don't like the idea of having a running quarterback, but
no.
I mean, yeah,
Not anymore.
I think especially after the RG3 scenario.
Colin Kaepernick. You see Cam Newton's not running as much anymore.
Yeah, Cam Newton's got the ability to be
Marcus
a pocket
Mariota
passer.
had to back off running because
he
didn't go to the playoffs without him. Then he started to throw more.
I think RG3 proved kind of two things. RG3 proved that a running quarterback can work in the NFL, just not for long.
Exactly.
Because
you're exactly right with that. We've seen so many of these players have a good. Colin Kaepernick had a few good years, then he took down. Newton had to stop running, essentially. Mariota had to stop running, or stop constantly running. They run a few times, but I mean, it's not. You don't see him scramble for 100 yards.
With Cam, they kind of like pick when he's gonna run because he can do it, but you don't want to get him all banged up. And I mean, RG3, all it took was that first year of injuries, and that was it for him. So I can kind of see where teams are going to be like, well, Lamar Jackson, maybe he can do it, but for how long? 3-4 years? We want a quarterback for 10 years, and maybe this guy can be here for 10. So yeah, that's all kind of interesting. But last but not least for the podcast today, we have higher or lower once again.
I'm very bummed Blaine is not here.
So unfortunately, Blaine is not here, so this kind of messes up our thing. But we got a different system. So I'm gonna read off the questions, and I'm gonna say a number.
Okay.
And then if Sam's gonna guess higher or lower.
Okay.
And depending on whether or not he gets them right, if he gets 4 out of the 7 questions right, he'll get a point. If not, no point, since we can't just have an outright winner.
Correct.
So here we go. The first question. So Dwayne Wade just got into the top 10 all-time playoff scoring?
Yes.
Karl Malone is 7th all-time in playoff scoring.
Okay.
So how many does he have higher or lower than 4,800 points?
Higher or lower than... All right, so you got to think Karl Malone played in a lot. He always got points from Stockton, of course. 48 seems like a lot, though. I think he got lower than 4,800.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. He had 4761.
Oh, my gosh. Like, right on.
So that was a good one.
You're thinking that's got... Because LeBron James has scored 30,000 in his career, so
he's got over 6 in the playoffs. I think it was 6,200, something like that.
See, and he's played, like, almost every single year he's been in the league, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's so 1 point so far. He needs 4 to get a point overall in our scoring. I'm leading right now as we had one round so far.
Oh yeah,
and I beat Blaine.
Quit crying about the questions.
Yeah, Blaine did not like the questions, and I had one answer for the horse racing one that was just like terrible that he wouldn't let me change. But anyways, so Brady has higher or lower than 30 playoff wins.
Yep. Yeah, taking accountability. He's been almost into every single conference finals for years now. 40.
30. I said 30.
You said 30?
Higher or lower than 30 playoff wins.
He's got more than 30.
That is incorrect. He has 27.
27?
27 playoff wins.
Okay.
So,
I can see that. Sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of wins, but yeah, I can see why you think more because Brady's just always there.
You're thinking he's going to win almost at least, I guess. Yeah, all right. I see why.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
All right. LeBron's highest scoring game is higher or lower than 65 points?
Lower than 65 points.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct.
I did know that.
LeBron's highest scoring game is 61 points.
Yep, I knew he didn't go into the high 60s. That's only been achieved by very little. Kobe Bryant's 82.
Okay.
81? I forget.
Yeah, Kobe had that 80 some point. Yeah. Yeah, something.
Michael Jordan. I don't know if Michael Jordan's even past 65. Huh.
I think he did. I think he had, but I think he didn't have like a Kobe game.
Never eclipsed in the semis, no.
All right. Question number 4. So he's got 2 right. Needs to get 2 more. So Nolan Ryan had higher or lower than 10 no-hitters.
So I know Nolan Ryan's had about 3 or 4 perfect games. So that's gonna take into accountability. I'm stuck because the number in my head right now is 12 no-hitters, but 10 no-hitters seems pretty high. But this is Nolan Ryan. He's one of the most dominant pitchers ever. I'm gonna go with higher than 10 no-hitters. Oh,
he had 7 no-hitters.
Goodness. Yep. I should have rethought that down. All right.
Yeah. So. So 4 questions in, we got 2 correct answers. Need 2 more in the next 3. So question number 5. The most combined goals in an NHL game is higher or lower than 24 goals?
Jesus. Who's scoring that many goals?
The most combined goals
24.
Is higher or lower than 24 goals?
It's going to be lower.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. The most combined goals in an NHL game is 21.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know what? Do you have any insight on what game or what year this was, or just?
It was. I can't remember what year it was. It was the Maple Leafs playing somebody, but it was 14-7 was the final score. I should have wrote it all down.
Okay. I'm just curious what year that would have taken place. That's all. That's fine. All right.
Yeah. So you need 1 more. We got 2 questions.
Just 1.
The largest margin of victory in an NBA game is higher or lower than 65 points?
I know this, I think. And that is higher than 65.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. It is
68.
68 is the highest margin of victory in an NBA game.
That would, I almost know that game. It's crazy. I think it was the Charlotte Hornets versus, New Orleans Hornets at the time. I'm sorry. They were playing, I think, Denver or something.
No, it was the Bulls.
I
think Sacramento was the highest one. It was Tyreek Evans who had 23 points for Sacramento, I think it said, and then Luol Deng was the high scorer for the Bulls. But yeah, it was.
Who won that game?
Oh wait, no, that's a different game. I have one more question on here. Do you want to hear that one? No, this was. I can't remember the largest margin of victory. I was wrong. That was.
It was
this game. The largest comeback in NBA history is higher or lower than 40 points.
40-point comeback? That seems a little bit of a stretch. So we've had 1 higher so far. I think that... How much did you say?
The largest comeback in NBA history is higher or lower than 40 points.
Lower.
Ding, ding, ding. It was 35, and that was the game that was Sacramento versus Chicago.
35.
Chicago lost after having a 35-point lead.
Ooh.
But yeah, so Sam, I'm gonna jot it down. I got a score. I'm keeping score here. Sam's officially got a point in the higher or lower scoring.
I have to let the Blaine, man.
And it is 1-1 to 0. And
if Blaine does come back, it will be Nolan and I head to head, while Blaine hopefully writes up some questions. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if he comes back. If not, I will just simply write up my own 7.
Yeah, we'll have to figure. I mean, we'll hear from him eventually. It'll be
we hope so.
I'm sure we will. It's usually not more than a couple days that we don't hear from him.
That's very true. Well, we thank you for tuning into our podcast today. Please go onto our Reddit page and help continue discussion on r-Minnesports. Also, look out for tweets from our Twitter account on Minnesports5. And hey, guess what? We just started uploading to YouTube.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
So please check us out in the Minnesports with our nice purple Kool-Aid Man logo. And you can catch up on all the podcasts there, hopefully. And a few extra videos we'll be putting in here and there just to spice up the entertainment. And any last words from you, Mr. O'Hara?
I don't think so. Let's go Wild tonight.
Oh, please. Wild and Wolves.
Need that win.
Hopefully we got good news report next week. All right. Thank you for listening.